Hey, listener, ever feel like you're kind of stuck in that slow lane with your marketing automation platform? You've got this amazing tool at your fingertips, but it's not quite living up to all those big promises.
It can definitely feel that way sometimes.
Well, today's deep dive is all about fine-tuning your MAP so you can win that marketing Grand Prix. We're talking hyper-personalized communication that hits the bullseye every single time.
It's about getting laser focused.
Exactly. And we've got two awesome sources to guide us today. A white paper and a comprehensive guide, both focused on taking your marketing automation to the next level. We're going to be tackling those common roadblocks that trip people up, figuring out how to get that data squeaky clean, and even dipping our toes into the AI ocean because, let's face it, AI is no longer some futuristic fantasy. It's here now.
It's changing the marketing landscape as we speak.
So true. So, expert speaker, what's on the agenda for today's deep dive? What's the roadmap look like?
Well, first things first, we need to set our sights on the North Star of marketing automation, and that's delivering the right message to the right person at the right time every time.
Sounds pretty ideal, right?
Absolutely. And to help us navigate toward that North Star, we're going to use this really cool framework from the guide called the Demand Maturity Curve. It basically maps out the entire journey from those first baby steps all the way to becoming a personalization powerhouse.
So imagine this curve like levels in a video game. You start at level 1, what they call CX primitive, kind of like dipping your toes in the water. You're probably sending out basic email blasts to a pretty broad audience, not a ton of personalization happening just yet.
Right, you're just getting started.
Exactly. But to reach the highest level, what they call customer-centric, which is like the expert level, think of it like you're Lewis Hamilton out there on the track, you've got to seriously level up your strategy.
And that's where the guide's emphasis on things like strategy, governance, and having a center of excellence really come into play.
Yeah, these are like the high-performance upgrades that are going to help you fly through those levels. Because here's the thing, just having a fancy marketing automation platform, it's not like an automatic guarantee of
It's
success.
not some magic bullet, sadly.
Right. It's like having a Ferrari parked in your garage. It's not going to win any races just sitting there looking pretty. You actually have to know how to drive the darn thing.
I like that analogy.
And that's what we're here to help you do today. But before we get all excited about those checkered flags, we've got to address the elephant in the room. Or in this case, it's more like those potholes on the racetrack.
It's always good to be prepared.
The white paper we're digging into today, it doesn't shy away from calling out those common roadblocks that can really trip up even the most well-intentioned marketers.
Yeah, we've all been there. Those frustrating bumps in the road.
Totally. And one of the biggest culprits the paper points to is a lack of a clearly defined strategy. It's like hitting the gas pedal before you've even glanced at the map. You might get somewhere eventually, but it's probably not going to be where you actually wanted to go.
You've probably wasted a lot of time and energy getting there.
Exactly. The white paper actually gave this really interesting example of a company that went all in on a super expensive marketing automation platform.
Ooh, big investment.
Right. But they totally dropped the ball on aligning it with their overall business goals.
Hmm?
So they end up with all these shiny bells and whistles, but no clue how to actually use them to achieve their objectives.
Oh, that's painful.
Talk about a marketing budget nightmare. And speaking of mishaps, the white paper also highlights another super common roadblock: inadequate training.
Ah, yes, that old chestnut.
It's like trying to change a tire with a butter knife.
Uh-huh.
You might eventually figure it out, but it's going to be messy, it's going to take way longer than it should, and chances are you're going to end up calling for a tow truck.
It's just not the right tool for the job.
And you're going to be frustrated. The paper really emphasizes that marketing automation platforms, as awesome as they are, can be pretty complex, and you really need to have people on your team who understand the ins and outs of the technology, the data analysis part, the best practices for building campaigns, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. You need that expertise. It's like having a skilled mechanic on your team who can fine-tune those engines, make sure everything's running smoothly.
It makes such a difference.
Without those skilled folks, you risk misinterpreting your data, your campaigns misfire, and ultimately it's your ROI that takes a hit.
And nobody wants that. Now, before we dive into those solutions, those power boosts that'll get your marketing automation firing on all cylinders, let's take a quick pause. Stay tuned, listener. We're just getting started. We're back and raring to go. Before we took a little break, we were talking about some of those, those pesky roadblocks that can really throw a wrench in your marketing automation efforts.
Yeah, we definitely don't want those slowing us down.
Not at all. So now let's shift gears and talk about the fun part, the solutions. This white paper, it lays out 5 key problems that a well-oiled MAP can solve. And let me tell you, these are like some serious performance upgrades for your entire marketing engine.
Totally agree. First up, speed. I mean, we all know in today's world, everything's moving at warp speed, right? Time to market is crucial.
Oh yeah, gotta stay ahead of the game.
And that's where marketing automation really shines. Think about it. All those manual tasks that go into launching even a simple campaign, it's a lot. Creating email lists, segmenting your audience, making sure those messages are personalized, scheduling all those sends. It's enough to make your head spin. But a MAP can automate a big chunk of those tasks, which frees you and your team up to actually focus on the strategic stuff, the creative stuff, the fun stuff.
It's like giving your marketing efforts a turbo boost. You're launching campaigns faster, reaching your target audience quicker. It's exciting. What's next on our list of problems that marketing automation can tackle?
Well, I'm sure you've experienced this as a consumer yourself, those totally irrelevant marketing messages. You know, the generic email blasts, those kind of creepy
Sure.
ads that seem to follow you around the internet. It's like, hello, McFly, you there?
Oh, tell me about it. It's like they don't even know me. And the worst part is it actually hurts those businesses in the long run.
100%. When people are bombarded with irrelevant messages, they just tune out. They unsubscribe. They hit that spam button faster than you can say unsubscribe. With marketing automation, you can say bye-bye to the days of just spraying and praying with your marketing.
It was about working smarter, not harder.
Right, exactly. A well-set-up MAP, it lets you gather all sorts of data on your audience, how they're behaving, what they're interested in, what they actually prefer, and with that treasure trove of information, you can create super targeted campaigns that actually resonate with each individual person.
It's like you're treating your audience like VIPs, not just a jumbled up list of email addresses.
Which is how it should be.
Totally. And ultimately, that personalized approach leads to happier customers, and happier customers mean more leads, more conversions, and of course, more revenue. Speaking of data, because it always seems to circle back to data, right? The next problem marketing automation can help us solve is a big one. That lack of a single view of your customer. Ugh, it's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle where all the pieces are scattered to the wind.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's like, where do you even begin to put that puzzle together?
Right. You end up with a major headache, that's for sure. But here's where marketing automation swoops in to save the day. It can be a total game changer in this department because by integrating your MAP with your CRM and all those other systems you've got going on.
Yeah, get everyone on the same page.
Exactly. You can create this like unified customer profile that gives you the full picture, a 360-degree view of each individual customer.
And suddenly you're not looking at scattered puzzle pieces anymore. You're seeing the whole picture, the complete masterpiece.
So you can see everything about that customer in one place, their purchase history, what they've been clicking on your website, if they're engaging with you on social media, how they're interacting with your emails, all of it. And with all that information at your fingertips, you can personalize your marketing messages like never before.
You're anticipating their needs. You're providing a seamless experience for them across every single touch point. It's powerful stuff.
It's like you're speaking their language, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay, ready to move on to another pain point that keeps marketers up at night.
Hit me with it. Errors. Specifically, errors in workflows. All those manual tasks that can be real productivity killers, entering data, managing those email lists, they're all susceptible to human error. A misplaced decimal point here, a typo there, they seem small, but those little mistakes can have huge consequences.
Oh, I know it. Been there, done that, definitely felt the pain.
And those consequences can snowball. Inaccurate reports, missed deadlines, your messaging is all over the place. It can even damage your brand's reputation. But when you automate your workflows using a MAP, you're minimizing the risk of those human errors, ensuring that your marketing operations are humming along like a well-oiled machine.
It's like having a whole team of robots working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure everything is perfect. Sign me up for that.
Right. Now, for the fifth and final problem that we're going to throw at marketing automation today, and this one's a biggie.
Lay it on me.
Data-driven decision-making.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
Right. But it's so important. In today's world, we're drowning in data. We have access to more information than we ever thought possible. But without the right tools and strategies to make sense of it all, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, unsure of how to actually use all that data to make good decisions.
It's like having a map to a buried treasure. You can't read the map. You know there's valuable treasure out there, but you're clueless about where to even start digging.
And that's where marketing automation rides in on its trusty steed to save the day again. A really robust MAP can help you gather all that data, organize it, and then here's the key, analyze it. So you can gain actual insights about your target audience, about how your campaigns are performing, about your overall marketing performance. It's like having that data whisperer on your team.
Instead of flying blind, relying on gut feelings, you're making decisions based on solid evidence.
Exactly. And a good MAP, it's going to give you the tools, the dashboards, everything you need to track the metrics that matter, identify trends as they're happening, and measure your ROI for every campaign.
So you can actually see what's working and what's not. No more guessing games.
You're taking the mystery out of marketing.
I love it. Speaking of data, and it seems like we can't escape it today, we need to talk about data quality, which, let's be honest, is not always the most thrilling topic. But trust us, listener, this is where things get really interesting. We're back. And listener, before we took a little detour, we were geeking out on data, talking about how a finely tuned MAP can turn those raw numbers into, well, marketing gold. But here's the catch match. None of that magic happens if you're working with bad data.
It's true. It's like they say, you put garbage in, you get garbage out. Although the white paper we're looking at today actually uses a different analogy.
Yo, tell.
They compare bad data to a shaky foundation. You know, you can have the most incredible blueprints, the best contractors in the business, but if that foundation's a mess, the whole thing's going to come crashing down.
Yikes. And in the world of marketing automation, what does that crumbling foundation actually look like? What are the consequences?
Well, for starters, you're looking at wasted resources, missed opportunities, maybe even some embarrassing mistakes along the way.
I can imagine.
Imagine this, you're all set to launch this super personalized email campaign, and then bam, you realize halfway through that half your data is outdated or just plain wrong. Talk about a facepalm moment.
Not the kind of personalization we're going for.
Yeah. Definitely not. Luckily, this white paper, it doesn't just point out the problem and then leave us hanging. They offer some really practical tips for cleaning up your data act. One of the big ones is to create what they call a central data repository.
Okay, break that down for me. What does that even mean?
So it's like having one single source of truth for all your customer information. Everything's in one place, consistent and up to date. That way, you're not dealing with these little islands of data scattered across all these different systems that can't talk to each other.
Which brings us to integration, right?
Yeah.
Your MAP has got to be best buddies with your CRM, your website analytics, your marketing automation platform, even your social media platforms, right?
Exactly. It's like getting all your data buddies together for a team building retreat. When those systems are all talking to each other, you're getting that much clearer, more accurate picture of your customer.
And speaking of a clearer picture, I got to tell you, this paper blew my mind a little bit when it mentioned using AI for data cleansing.
Oh yeah, that's a game changer.
It's like having an army of little data robots, like you said, just beavering away in the background, making sure everything's accurate and up to date.
It's pretty incredible to see what AI is already doing in the marketing world.
It really is.
And while we're on the topic of AI, let's talk about how this technology is poised to supercharge the future of marketing automation. This white paper, it paints this really interesting picture of a world where AI isn't just, cleaning up our data messes.
Uh-oh, what else is AI going to be up to?
It's going to be taking over some of the heavy lifting of marketing itself. We're talking things like actually writing email copy, segmenting our audiences, even simulating those customer journeys.
Whoa, hold on a second. That's getting pretty futuristic. It sounds like AI could automate a ton of what marketers are doing today. That's a little bit, I don't know, intimidating.
I get it. It can feel like AI is coming for our jobs, but honestly, I see it as this amazing opportunity.
Okay, I'm open to seeing the bright side.
Think about it. If AI takes over some of these, let's be honest, kind of tedious and repetitive tasks, it frees us humans up to focus on the really creative stuff, the strategy, building those deep, meaningful relationships with our customers.
So it's less about being replaced by robots and more about robots being our new best friends.
Exactly. It's like having a superpower. Imagine being able to analyze mountains of data in a few seconds, to see patterns, predict customer behavior. It'd be like having a marketing crystal ball.
Okay, now that's a superpower I could get behind.
Right.
So listener, if you haven't jumped on the AI train yet, now is the time. The future of marketing is here, and it's powered by AI.
Couldn't agree more.
But before you unleash a whole army of AI robots on your marketing strategy, there's one more crucial piece of the puzzle we need to talk about, the ever-important Center of Excellence, or COE, as the cool kids call it.
Always got to have a good acronym.
Right. So for those who haven't encountered the COE before, break it down for us.
Think of your COE as like mission control for all things marketing automation. It's the place where strategy and execution actually come together. It's about bringing the right people, the right expertise together, establishing clear processes, using the right technology. It's about making sure your whole marketing automation ecosystem is working in perfect harmony.
So it's about so much more than just having the shiniest, newest marketing automation platform on the market. It's about using it the right way and having the right team in place.
100%. A good COE fosters a culture of collaboration, continuous improvement, always learning and evolving. And of course, it's all about making those data-driven decisions we were talking about earlier. It ensures that everyone's on the same page, working together towards the same goal,
Which
unlocking the full potential of marketing automation. It's about creating that high-performance marketing machine where every part is working in sync.
I love it. And listener, that's a wrap for today's deep dive. We've covered a ton of ground, from the incredible promise of marketing automation, the absolute necessity of clean data, why segmentation is your secret weapon, and of course the mind-blowing possibilities of AI.
Don't forget those pesky roadblocks, though. We've all hit a few of those along the way.
So true. We hope you leave this deep dive feeling inspired, informed, and most importantly, ready to take your own marketing automation game to a whole new level. Until next time, happy automating.